Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This is going to be These Books Will Self-Destruct. Now, I did one of these in, I think, December 2021, and we're just going to null and void that. Some of the books I've already unhauled, some of them I've read, and I think one or two of them are in this stack to go for another round because I feel like I just want to kind of start fresh. So there is 10 books that I want to try to read within the next year, or I'm unhauling them. These are ones that either I've lost interest in or I've had them on my shelf for a little while, and I don't want to part with them just quite yet. And a lot of these I don't know that much about, so I will read the back and maybe see if that might, like, reading the back might spark my joy and wanting them. I'm also very much shifting my reading from like YA to more adult and new adult. So a lot of these are YA. I think one of them is new adult. So yeah, let's just start off with The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. This I got secondhand off of somebody on Facebook Marketplace in December 2021. So I've had it for over a year, closer to a year and a half now. And this, I don't know much. Rin has one unread text message on her phone, and it's been there for almost a year. She hasn't tried to read it, she can't, she won't. Because that one message is the last thing her best friend ever said to her before she died. But as Rin finds herself trapped in the Denver International Airport on New Year's Eve thanks to a never-ending blizzard on the one-year anniversary of her best friend's death, fate literally runs into her, and his name is Xander. When the two accidentally swap phones, Rin and Xander are thrust into the chaos of an unforgettable all-night adventure, filled with charming and mysterious strangers, a secret New Year's Eve bash, and an impossible Illuminati conspiracy hidden within the airport. But as the blizzard night continues, all Rin can think about is that one unread text, and it follows her whenever she goes because Rin can't get her brilliantly wild and free-spirited best friend out of her head. Rin can't move on, but tonight for the first time ever, she's trying, and maybe that's a start. Like, part of me that kind of sounds interesting because I love the idea of a book taking place in a short period of time and, like, being trapped somewhere. But it's just, like, when I read that, I'm like, that sounds interesting, but is it for me? So, if I don't read this within a year, it will be unhauled. Next is Love and Other Trainwrecks by Leah Conan. I think that's how you pronounce the last name. This I bought at my library's book sale last April. So I've had this for almost a year. And I honestly don't remember anything about it, except it was literally $1. One train ride, two strangers. Noah is a hopeless romantic. He's traveling home for one last chance with his first love, and he needs a miracle to win her back. Amy doesn't believe in true love. Just look at her parents. If there's one thing she learned about love in the last year, is that it ends. That is until one winter night when Noah and Amy find themselves at the same Amtrak car heading to upstate New York. After a train wreck first impression between the two of them, the Amtrak train suddenly breaks down in the middle of a snowstorm. Desperate to make it to their destinations, Noah and Amy have no other option but to travel together. What starts off as a minor detour turns into a whirlwind journey of a lifetime. But come morning, their adventures take an unexpected turn for the worse. Can one day really change how they feel about love in the course of their lives forever? I realize that these two sound very similar. Maybe a winter vlog of just reading winter books? I don't know. Next is Graceling by Kristen Kishore. I think I also bought this at that same library sale that I bought Love and Other Trainwrecks. But this, it's been popular for so long, that's why I bought it. But I don't know anything except it's a YA fantasy, so. Katza has been able to kill a man with her bare hands since she was 8. She's a Graceling, one of the rare people in her land born with an extreme skill. As niece of the king, she should be able to live a life of privilege, but graced as she's with killing, she's forced to work as the king's thug. When she first meets Prince Po, graced with combat skill, Casta has no hint of how her life is about to change. She never expects to become Poe's friend. She never expects to learn a truth about her own grace or about a terrible secret that lies far away. See, that sounds interesting, but my brain goes, it's YA. It's a series that keeps on continuing. Like I think the 5th book just came out a few months ago or is going to come out, but it was originally a trilogy. So that puts me off because I'm like, well, how long is it going to be? But I am interested in it. And if I do end up liking it, I will probably have to buy the other cover because covers don't match anymore. But yeah. And also on a similar line of Graceling is Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This is also a YA fantasy that is pretty popular. And again, I know nothing about. She flees on her wedding day. She steals ancient documents from the Chancellor's secret collection. She pursued a bounty hunter sent by her own father. She's Princess Leia, 17, first daughter of the House of Morgan. The Kingdom of Morgan is steeped in tradition and the stories of bygone world, but some traditions Leia can't abide, like having to marry someone she's never met to secure a political alliance. Fed up and ready for a new life, Leia escapes to a distant village on the morning of her wedding. She settles in among the common folk, intrigued when 2 mysterious and handsome strangers arrive, and unaware that one is a jilted prince and the other is an assassin sent to kill her. Deceptions swirl, and Leia finds herself on the brink of unlocking perilous secrets that may unravel her world, even as she can feel herself falling in love. See, one thing I'm interested in this is I've heard of, like, obviously there's mentions of, like, the 2 mysterious and handsome strangers arrive, one being the prince, one being the assassin. Is one thing that I've heard that I'm interested in is you don't know who is who. You don't know who's the assassin, who's the prince. That intrigues me, but the rest doesn't, and I am, like, unsure, so we'll give it a year. Next is The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. This came in the December 2021 Fairy Loot as like an extra book. It is signed, like digitally signed. This I'm interested in, but not super. Elise is cursed. Every time she touches someone, she experiences how they will die. And when she predicts but is unable to prevent her brother's death, Elise is desperate to escape her terrible gift. Then she meets Claire, a vampire tasked with helping Elise master her rare powers, and recruiting her to the Veil, a secret organization determined to protect the paranormal world at all costs. At first, Elise is reluctant to work with a vampire, but when she predicts a teacher's intimate murder, she's determined to stop the violent death. As Elise and Claire grow closer, Elise begins to wonder, can she really trust someone tasked with securing her loyalty? Someone who could so easily kill her? Someone who might hold the key to unraveling her brother's mysterious death. See, this is like a sapphic vampire story, and that's what intrigues me. But reading the back, I'm like torn because it's interesting, but next we have Honor Among Thieves by Rachel Kane and Anne Aguirre. This is a YA sci-fi. Petty criminal Zara Cole was shocked to be recruited into the Honors, an elite team of humans selected by a race of sentient alien ships to explore the outer reaches of the universe as their passengers. Zara seizes the chance to change her life, and when she meets Nadim, an alien ship she's assigned to, she feels like she belongs for the first time. But nothing, not her honors training or her street smarts, could have prepared her for the dark, ominous truth that lurked behind the alluring glitters of starlight. See, I like YA sci-fi sometimes, and this I feel like might be interesting, but I've had it for like close to 2 years, I think, and have not picked it up at all. So we will have to see if I do get to it or not within the next year. Next is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. For Penny Lee, high school was a total non-event. Her friends were okay, her grades were fine, and she'd somehow landed a boyfriend, but they never managed to know much about each other. Now Penny is heading to college in Austin, Texas, to learn how to become a writer. She's 79 miles and a zillion light years away from everything she can't wait to leave behind. Sam's stuck. Literally, figuratively, emotionally, financially. He works at a cafe and sleeps there too, on a mattress on the floor of an empty storage room upstairs. He knows that this is a god-awful chapter of his life that will serve as inspiration when he's a famous movie director. But right this second, the $17 in his checking account and his dying laptop are really testing him. When Sam and Penny cross paths, it's less than a meet cute and more of a collision of unbearable awkwardness. Still, they swap numbers and stay in touch via text, and soon becomes digitally inseparable, sharing their deepest anxieties and secret dreams without the humiliating weirdness of having to, see each other. So it's like they form a friendship/relationship via text after a not so cute meet cute. I love meet cutes. I love like online like texting things. And so I am really curious about this. I'm interested in it because it just seems like something I will like, but I never read for it. I've never even put it on a TBR or moved it into the pile of books that I want to read for a month. I need to do that, so having it on the self-destructing list hopefully should encourage me to do that. Next is The Devouring Gray by the author's pen name is now C.L. Herman. So I'm going to refer to the author as C.L. Herman, even though there's a different name on the cover. The author has changed names. But this, I know it's like a YA fantasy. And I've read another book by this author. Well, it was co-written by this author, and I loved it. So why haven't I picked this up? I don't know. Branches and stones, daggers and bones, they locked the beast away. After the death of her sister, 17-year-old Violet Saunders finds herself dragged to Four Pearls, New York. Violet may be a newcomer, but she learns her mother isn't. They belong to one of the revered founding families of the town, where stone bells hang above every doorway and danger lurks in the depths of the woods. For generations, Justin Hawthorne's bloodline has protected Four Paths from the Gray, a lifeless dimension that imprisons a brutal monster. After Justin fails to inherit his family's powers, his mother is determined to keep his humiliation a secret. But Justin can't let go of the future he was promised and the town he swore to protect. Ever since Harper Carlyle's lost her hand in the accident that left her stranded in the grave for days, she has vowed revenge on the person who abandoned her, Justin Hawthorne. There are ripples of dissent in Four Paths, and Harper seizes an opportunity to take down the Hawthornes and change her destiny. To what extent, she doesn't even know. The Gray is growing stronger every day, and its victims are piling up. When Violet accidentally unleashes the monster, all three must band together with other founders to unearth the dark truths behind their family's abilities before the Gray devours them all. That sounds amazing. I love small town, like this evil force. I love that idea. I just need to read it. Hence, it's why it's on this list, because that sounds so interesting, and like the sequel's out, like it's a completed duology. So I just need to read it. Next is The Falling Between Us by Ash Parsons. Just 8 months ago, 15-year-old Roxanne Stewart was stuck in her tiny middle-of-nowhere hometown with no prospects of leaving. But after her boyfriend, Joshua Blackbird, posts a performance of an original song on YouTube, he becomes an overnight sensation, catapulting to the dizzying heights of celebrity, and Rox joins him on the whirlwind ride of a massive national tour. But that is not long before the never-blinking eye of fame begins weighting them both down, and constant hunger of managers, diehard fans who call themselves birdies, record execs, paparazzi, and even family all leeching on to Joshua. Then one day, Joshua Blackbird disappears. Was it suicide? An accident? Rox will start at nothing to find out the truth. And like, I'm interested because it's like fame, being young, and all that, and kind of the mystery of what happened. But also, this screams like it's going to be very, very YA. And yes, that is something, I still do read YA, but I lean to more YA fantasy than YA contemporary. But this does kind of have that little mystery of what happened to Joshua, and also the acts of fame, which I like. So I do really need to read this. I think this was one that was on my last self-destruct. I don't remember exactly. But I am still interested in it, so we'll just see if I'm interested in it enough to read it within the next year. And the final book is a book that has literally been on my shelf since January 2020, and I have not picked it up once. I think I put it on one TBR, didn't read it, and that is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I've owned this since January 2020. Shane has been doing college all wrong. Pre-med, stellar grades, and happy parents sounds ideal, but Shane's made 0 friends, goes home every weekend, and romance, what's that? Her life has been dorm, dining hall, class, repeat. Time's ticking and she needs a change. There's nothing like moving to a new country to really mix things up. Shane signs up for a semester abroad in London. She's going to write all her college mistakes, make friends, pursue boys, and find adventure. Easier said than done. She's soon forced with complicated realities of living outside her bubble. And when self-doubt sneaks into her life, she starts to fall apart. Shane comes to find out with the right amount of determination, one can conquer anything. Throw in some fate, a touch of magic, the possibilities are endless. Like, I love the idea of reading about a character doing a semester abroad, but I literally just haven't I haven't had the urge to pick it up. But I also don't want to pick it up. I also don't want to unhaul it because I remember watching Christine Riccio on YouTube when this book was announced. So why haven't I read it? That is the lifelong question. So yeah, that's the final book. So those are the books on my self-destructing TBR. Fingers crossed I'm able to get to at least some of them. And let me know what is one of, out of all of these books, have you read any? And should I try to prioritize some of them? Or are there some here that you're just like, you shouldn't read it because I don't think you'll like it? Especially if you know you have good, similar reading taste to me. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!